Hey guys, it's Callie Wise, TNE Student Success Manager with TNE Campus. Sorry about that. Just going over some of the questions and stuff that I got from the text messages you guys are sending me, and I've already done one video about kind of like the basics of TNE Campus and who we are, what we do. So I thought I would follow that with some other videos. And this one I'm going to touch on some navigation stuff with TNE Campus and using D2L and kind of navigating around your course. So if you've already gone in and logged in, and we're going to touch on that too, about how to log in and where to go do that and stuff like that and how to do it. If you've already done that and done the orientation course, then this may be kind of stuff you already know. But if you're a new student, you haven't logged in yet, you haven't gone through the orientation course, then this video will really help you. So first things first, I'm going to share my screen and then show you where to get started with logging in and how to access that. Okay, so we're here, and as I was mentioning in the first video, what you probably would want to do is start with the website tnecampus.info, and you can start www.tnecampus.info or just tnecampus.info. Either one works, and go over to the side over here where it says go to class. You'll notice it'll automatically kind of pop down, and the first one is TNE Campus Students, and just go ahead and click on it. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen on the left, if you're on a desktop, it'll have the web address there. Now the actual web address for where you need to log in at, it's different from your school. So if you didn't watch the first one, you didn't get this first video, but it's different from your school. It is https:// go to class.tnecampus.org. So https:// go to class.tnecampus.org. Your schools may be, elearn.chattanoogastate.edu or mychattanoogastate.edu or something like that. I don't know exactly, but everybody's got their own. And that's where your online classes will be for your school versus what you'll have for TNE Campus. So they're going to be on different sites. You need to remember to make sure that you got those different. So if you go to your school's page, you're not going to see our classes. If you go to our page, you won't see your school's classes. So you'll have two different sites to go to. So let's go ahead and click on this TNE Campus Students link and go to our login page. This is what your landing page looks like. And even if you're on your phone, it should look like this. It's compatible with both phones and iPads and such. Now, we'll give you a warning about working with pads and iPads and phones and Androids and such. You can do a lot of work on phones and iPads and such, but you can't do tests in most cases. Sometimes you can, but not maybe small quizzes and things like that, but not major tests. And I would forewarn you about trying to accomplish that. You will need a desktop or laptop to complete that kind of work. You can do some assignments, most assignments in fact, with phones and iPads, but you will inevitably need a desktop or laptop. And if you can borrow one from a friend or a family member, awesome. So on our landing page, there's a couple links up at the top that are kind of important. And if you were in the first video or saw the first video, then you will know about student resources. That takes you back to that first page that we were looking at and has all the information there for students. And it'll tell you, give you links to your student liaisons. It'll give you information about our academic calendar, things like that, how to file complaints, grade appeals, all that information. So anything you need there that's student related is going to be there. The knowledge books is another great resource. So I won't take you and look at that real quick and show you how that works. But it is a really good resource for students to have access to. And the knowledge books is basically all of our information, things that I'm saying to you, all the resource material, things like that, all in one place. And you can see here, we got a bunch of knowledge tags and stuff like that about discussions, contacting your instructor, using the Dropbox, ebooks, Brightspace, because Brightspace is the same thing as D2L and eLearn, academic calendars, so forth. So if you click on T&E Campus Students, it will actually take you to different pieces of information about T&E Campus and the resources that we have. So different types of policies, how to get started. We have an orientation video about the course syllabus and links to the course syllabi. Now these are general course syllabi. So some people asked about how to get the syllabus for their course. You won't actually get your syllabus for your course until you get into the class, the specific one, but you can get a general one through that link there. How to log into your class, how to get your textbooks, and what to do to get your textbooks. Assignments, of course, tools, navigating through your class. And these are all step-by-step through that. So even how to use the Brightspace Pulse app. There's a Pulse app that you can use to actually get into your class. That's very simple, pretty easy to use. So this is a really great resource again for you, and I encourage you to take a look at it. If you've got questions, you can go there first about different aspects of T&E Campus and how to navigate and walk around the site. If you got questions, you can always check there first, and then always come back to me if you have other things you need to know that you may not have been aware of. All right, so back on the login page, over on the right side, you'll see that there is a live chat phone support. This goes to our D2L help desk, and they can help you with any kind of technical support that you need with your class. So if you get locked out of your login, you need help with getting logged in, try to post an assignment, discussion board, you're having problems getting logged into or getting into the discussion board, something's just not working, things time out, stuff like that, then check with the D2L help desk and see if they can figure out what's going on with that. So logging in, here's the directions right here in the middle of the page, right above the login section. So new students, this is anybody, when I say new student, these are not just people who are brand new to taking classes. These are people who have not taken a T&E Campus class before. So you may have taken classes at your school, but you haven't taken one of our classes specifically. So you would have a username and a password, and that password would be your 6-digit birthday in the month, day, year format. 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 2-digit year. No dashes. And that would be your password. When you first log in, you'll be prompted to change your password. The old password, the quote unquote old password that's going to ask for, it's going to be your 6-digit birthday, and then you create whatever new password you want. The username for most people will be your first initial of your first name, plus your last name, and then the month and day of your birthday. 2-digit month, 2-digit day. Every once in a while, some people will have what we call a duplicate username. It's not really a duplicate, but what it means is that you've had an extra number added to your username. Typically it's a 1, maybe a 2 sometimes. In most cases, this happens when somebody has a common name, like a last name Smith or Jones or something like that. And we have a lot of students with that. So it may be like a W Smith. And then we may have several W Smiths that semester. So there may be a 1 added in for somebody for that W Smith. So maybe a W Smith 10327 in here. So if you can't log in, and you know you've got everything else right, you know you're a new student, your password should be the 6-digit birthday, but you still can't get in, you could try doing the 1 at the beginning of your birthday there in the W Smith 10327 or whatever your name is, or maybe a 2 or something like that, and just see if that lets you in. If it doesn't, then you can either contact the help desk or you can text me and see if, maybe we can get you in, okay? All right. Now, if you have been taking classes with us or it's been a little while and just coming back after maybe this your thing you do every summer, you take a T&E Campus class every summer to pick up a class, then you've got an account already and you've already got a username. Your password hasn't changed. So you'll use that old password to get in. And you'll still have the same username. But if you can't remember the password, I will tell you this. 9 times out of 10, using the forgot password down here, this link, for whatever reason, does not work. And I think it's usually because there's a block on student emails. That's why we've been having problems with student emails. Just because there's a lot of security blocks that have been added to student emails, and so it won't go through. Just contact either the help desk or contact me, and I'll reset that for you. I'll set it back to your birthday. All right, so let's log in, and I'll show you real quickly what the format of the course look like. They're all pretty much the same. We have instructional designers that work with our course developers on setting up courses, pretty much the same format. And we encourage them to stick within the template so that they all kind of have the same style and same look. So when you're on a desktop, this is more or less what it's going to look like. When you go in, there may be different pictures at the top or what have you when you log in. Across the top up here, you're going to have what we call the waffle. This is where you can also see course listings. Okay, right. I've got a lot because these are all the courses that I've looked up already. Your email up here at the top, this is the email alert. So if you see a red dot up here, this means that you've got an email message. As I mentioned in the previous video, if you've got email, or when you have email up here, what you need to know about email is that it is internal. So you cannot send an email from this email system out to like your Gmail, your Yahoo account, or your school email. So you can only do it within. The good thing about this is that this is a tracking system. So if you have some kind of issue or problem within your course and you're communicating with your instructor, it will save your sent emails. So we can track it. We can see that you've been communicating with your instructor. If your instructor doesn't respond, then we've got that record of that. By the same token, it's a really good way for us to be able to see what has kind of transpired in the course. So when instructors have sent mass emails and stuff like that to the class, have been introducing themselves and what have you, we can see that as well. But instructors cannot, or do not, I should say, have all of your contact information. So they don't know your school email, they don't know your personal email, they don't have your phone number. They only have your contact information inside the class. So they will only have your course email, not anything else. So this is the only way they can communicate with you. So it's very important that you check. What it comes down to is it's very important that you check this email regularly within your class. Now, as soon as you log in, you don't necessarily have to go to your class to check this email, but I encourage you to go to your classes regularly. It's very important that you do that. Whether you have work that you do outside the class, even if you do it on like a Cengage site or Pearson or something like that, I encourage you to go to your class regularly because there may be announcements and things like that within your class that you need to see. Instructors still put emails and announcements within their course and on the course homepage. So it's very important that you go there, even if you have some stuff that you do almost completely outside of the course. So you'll see this announcements section here. You'll want to be able to check that often. When you log in, you're going to probably see, you'll see the courses here under My Courses, but some of yours, aside from the orientation course, which will be this one here is our main orientation course at the moment, you'll see some that will be grayed out. That is your upcoming courses, and it'll have the date, like the ending date. Some people ask me about when our classes end. Well, that's going to be shown there. And I'll also show when it starts. So you'll be able to see it. The 3 little dots here will allow you to set it. So like you can pin it. You see up here in this course right here, I've pinned this one. So this always stays at the top. If I want to change that, I just click that and go unpin. And so it's no longer pinned. Now, if I want to put this one, which is our current, no, this one here, I'm sorry. This is our current one. I can put that and I can pin that one, which it already is. It's already pinned. But if I want to pick any other ones, I could do that and pin it at the top. So you can keep those at the top if you've got a lot of classes, and you can reorganize them however you want. So let's go into a class. I'm going to go into the orientation class. Now, when you first log into your class, you're going to be seeing this message. It's going to pop up with your instructor information, so you'll see it right away, and you'll be aware of who your instructor is. This is the same piece within your course. It's called the Getting Started section. So look through this, make sure you have your instructor information. You may even want to take a screenshot of it, save it on your phone, because if you're unable to get into your class, you want to be able to have that in case you need to call them, or if they have an alternate email, be able to email them. So this is very important that you have this information. They'll also go on to messages and other information about the course. So go through and read some of that. They'll have the syllabus information and course expectations. So you'll have several pieces of information about the course that'll pop up, and read through that. When you get to the end, you can dismiss it and it won't pop up again. But you'll always have this link here that'll immediately go to that Getting Started section at the top of your page. So that'll always be there. Now, in most cases, when you go to your class, you're going to see the section up here for the announcements, and you'll have instructor information right at the top. Typically, your ability to contact your instructor will be linked, and you'll be able to go right into that. But don't just pay attention just to the top piece. Make sure you scroll down, because there are going to be other announcements that sometimes are hidden down the bottom. So make sure you scroll down and you're looking at other bits and pieces of the website, and you see everything. You'll also see over on the right-hand side over here, course resources. And this is really important because you've got your virtual bookstore. This is where you can buy your books. You can go directly here from the course. So whether you buy your books now or you buy your books once you get into the class, you can go from the bookstore here. If you need information on disability services, if you need an accommodation, you can go here and get some more information about what to do about that. Virtual tutoring, we do have virtual tutoring services. So if you need virtual tutoring, you do that from within your class. You can do it outside. There's no way to access it from outside because it's all connected to your class. But once you are inside the course, you can click virtual tutoring and it will take you to it. And the same thing with a virtual library. So if you have a very research intensive class, say a history class or an English class where you have to write papers or something like that, or do research, then you can go to the virtual library from here. When you first log into your class, one of the things you're going to want to do, and it's not a part of this particular course, but it will be in your regular classes, is going to be the student participation survey. All students, regardless of whether you get financial aid or not, all students are federally mandated to complete a student participation survey in online courses, or at least some kind of student attendance survey of some kind within the course. Now at your school, you'll be recorded as attending by your instructor. Then in our courses, you have to tell us that you're attending. You have to say, yes, I am here. So you do that through the student participation survey. And that will be typically right here at the top within the announcements. There'll be a little statement that says student participation survey. And at the bottom of that section, there will be a link to take you to the survey. If you don't see it there, then you can go over to the tabs for surveys and click on it, and it'll show you the link. And you just take it. 3 questions, doesn't take you any time. It just asks if you've seen the syllabus, if you've done a couple other things, can't remember all of them. And then you just say yes and submit it, and it comes to us as a report, and then we send that to the school, and they report you as attending. You have 14 days to complete it. The first 14 days of classes, no more. Okay, you have no more than 14 days. So we cannot repost it. We cannot send it to you by email since it is federally mandated. Okay, you do not have any other time to do it than within that first 14 days. And if you wait till the 5th day class and log in, or the 10th day of class and log in, you still only have until that 14th day of class. You don't get 14 more days. It's that 14th day of class from the first day classes start. Okay, so content of the course. The main place that you're going to start with your classes is going to be right up here in the content section. There are a lot of other pieces up here, but content is where you will spend your time mostly. So click on content. Now, mine defaulted to module 3 because that was the last place I was in. And realize that I'm looking at this not as a student, but from an instructor point of view, because this is my course. There are several things you could do at this point. There's nothing telling you, hey, click here, click on me. So one of the things I tell students, if you are interested in just focusing on what is due, what I'd have to do next, course schedules are a really good place to start for that if you just want to know what's due. So you can start with course schedule, and you can notice there's a couple of options here for upcoming and then full schedule. Upcoming is a little limited because it's just going to show you what's immediately coming up, and it's a little misleading because you're only thinking about, it's only looking at the immediate upcoming, future. Full schedule will show you everything. Now, my course, I don't have anything, so it's really not going to show us anything to look at. But if you have full schedule, it's going to show you, all your quizzes. It's going to show you assignment due dates, discussion board post due dates, and such. Oh, something I should mention, though, for those who were not or did not view the previous video, our courses are asynchronous. So what this means is that, let's say you are in module 1, there will be basically what we call assignments. So to say we have an activity, an assignment due. You're going to have, this one doesn't have it, but you will have a certain amount of time that's given to you. This one says you got 10 minutes completed or whatever. So it's not going to take long. But in most modules, you'll be given, say, from June 5th to June 10th, or maybe 5th to the 15th to complete an assignment. So you may be given a week or a little over a week to complete some work, maybe 2 weeks, depends on what the instructor wants you to do. So you'll have that amount of time to complete a discussion board post or a quiz or post upload an assignment that they want you to do. You can work at that at your own pace during that time frame, as long as you get it posted or done by the due date. That's what asynchronous means. You do not have to actually be live online with an instructor or with your class during that time. So that's what asynchronous means. Now, with everything going on with COVID, there may be some times where schools are going to have things that are going to be synchronous. Synchronous means that you will be live with a class or with the instructor. We don't do that. There's no talk of us doing that at this point. We're completely asynchronous. We've always been asynchronous. So we don't set time limits. Once you access your class, 3 p.m. on Tuesday, when classes start, once you access your class, and you can do it anytime after 3 p.m. Once you access it, you have access to it 24/7 throughout the semester. And you can go in anytime. You do not have to get on at 3 p.m. every day. You do not have to be on at a certain time, certain day. You do not have to watch or talk to somebody or watch a video at a certain time during a day. As long as you get your assignments done by a deadline or by the due date that is mentioned in your course. That's what you need to do. Okay. So going back up here to the top, the schedule, that will help you kind of keep track of what's due and when, and help you kind of get a schedule set out. Now, don't rely, I do set a little warning with this, don't rely completely on the course schedule, because sometimes these could be a little off, or there may not be, everything may not be included here. So it's always kind of good to kind of go through the course and kind of double check things to make sure everything's included. And you can go through these kind of one by one. You can go through the discussion tabs, you can go through the quizzes, you go through the assignments, and kind of see when things are due, just to make sure you're not missing anything. So once you've gone through, you looked at, let's say you look at the getting started. This was everything that we saw on that first page that kind of popped up. And you were seeing all the instructor information, the syllabus, and so forth. You can get to it directly here. no problem, right? Then you can work through, go to module 1. It'll tell you what to do, what to expect. And this is what I tell students: start at the beginning, work your way through each section. Read the stuff at the top if it's there, read the overview, all the concepts and everything, all the readings and resources. Go through every single piece. Read it carefully. Read it 2 or 3 times if you need to. And that will help you kind of get it all in your head. Now, this is something a lot of people don't realize. They haven't been in these courses for a little bit. You go all the way to the very bottom. Well, hang on, maybe it's not here on my page. There is, well, you can see a print up here. Let me see if I go to student. See my student view. Ah, there it is. See, you can download pages. And if you go into each one of these, you can download any page you want. You can pretty much download anything except quiz pages and things like that. You can't download tests, obviously, because they don't want you having test information. So know that that's there. Know that you can go in and you can access test information. I mean, not test information. You can download pages so that you can go back and read it later. So that's always good to know. You can go back and click a tab so you know you're in module 1. You can go back up here to the top and go back to where you left off. And it'll show you here how you progress through and what you clicked on and have it clicked on. And over here are the little check marks to show, okay, I've read that, I've looked at it, but I haven't read this. So I need to do that. And of course, like I said before, you can go through each of these individually. You don't necessarily have to go down through each section of this, but it is encouraged because that's typically how the course is formatted. You go through each module step by step instead of jumping around from tab to tab to tab. It'll just make life easier for you. Now, a couple other tabs here that are important that you'll want to be aware of. And there are a lot of details within some of this that you'll want to know about. But right now, I'm going to change out of this because I need to see that view, for me to show you what you need. The grades, this will show you a list of all the grades that you'll get for the course. So you'll